In this video, we are going to cover a detailed summary of Aeschylus's tragedy, The Libation Bearers, continuing the dark story of revenge and justice in the House of Atreus. So let's start. The Libation Bearers is the second play in Aeschylus's Oresteia trilogy and continues the tragic cycle of violence that began in Agamemnon. The story returns to Argos, where King Agamemnon has been murdered by his wife Clytemnestra and her lover Aegisthus. The kingdom remains under their rule, and the curse on the House of Atreus continues to cast a dark shadow over the land. The play opens at the tomb of Agamemnon. Orestes, the son of Agamemnon and Clytemnestra, has returned to Argos after years of exile. He comes under the command of the god Apollo, who has ordered him to avenge his father's murder. Orestes is accompanied by his loyal friend Pylades. Despite his duty, Orestes is troubled, aware that revenge will require committing the terrible act of killing his own mother. At the tomb, Orestes encounters his sister Electra, who has been living in misery under Clytemnestra's rule. She has been sent to pour libations on Agamemnon's grave in response to a troubling dream that has disturbed their mother. Through shared grief and recognition, the siblings are reunited. Together they mourn their father and pray for justice, strengthening their resolve to carry out vengeance. The chorus, made up of enslaved women known as the Libation Bearers, supports Orestes and Electra. They remind them of the ancient law of blood revenge, where murder must be answered with murder. Their voices reinforce the idea that justice in this world is deeply intertwined with violence and divine command. Orestes devises a plan to enter the palace in disguise. Pretending to be a foreign messenger, he brings false news of his own death. Clytemnestra is relieved, believing her son is no longer a threat. Aegisthus is summoned to confirm the news, and when he arrives alone, Orestes reveals his identity and kills him without hesitation. This act fulfills part of Apollo's command, but also deepens the moral weight of Orestes' actions. The most emotionally intense moment comes when Orestes confronts Clytemnestra. She attempts to save herself by reminding him that she gave him life and nurtured him as a child. She argues that her murder of Agamemnon was justified as revenge for the sacrifice of Iphigenia. Orestes hesitates, torn between his duty to avenge his father and the horror of committing matricide. At this crucial moment, Pylades speaks, reminding Orestes of Apollo's command and the severe consequences of disobedience. Orestes ultimately chooses obedience to the god over human emotion. He kills his mother, completing the cycle of revenge that began with Agamemnon's murder. Immediately after the act, Orestes is overwhelmed with guilt and terror. He begins to see the Furies, ancient spirits of vengeance who punish crimes of blood, especially the killing of family members. Though invisible to others, they torment Orestes, driving him toward madness. This marks a shift in the trilogy from physical revenge to psychological and moral consequences. Orestes appears before the chorus holding the bodies of Clytemnestra and Aegisthus. He declares that justice has been served, yet his words lack certainty. The chorus senses that the violence has not ended, but merely transformed. The curse of the House of Atreus continues, now embodied in Orestes' suffering. The play ends with Orestes fleeing Argos, driven by the Furies and seeking purification. He plans to travel to Delphi to seek Apollo's protection and judgment. His escape does not bring peace, but signals the beginning of a new phase of the conflict, where divine justice will confront ancient laws of revenge. The Libation Bearers explores themes of justice, duty, guilt, and moral conflict. Aeschylus presents revenge as both a divine command and a source of unbearable suffering. Orestes is neither a hero nor a villain. He is a tragic figure trapped between conflicting obligations. The play deepens the moral complexity of the Oresteia trilogy. It raises difficult questions about whether justice can ever be achieved through violence, and whether obedience to the gods absolves humans of responsibility. The emergence of the Furies suggests that a higher form of justice is needed, one that goes beyond endless bloodshed. As a bridge between Agamemnon and the Eumenides, the Libation Bearers moves the trilogy toward its final resolution. It transforms the narrative from revenge-driven action to a search for moral and legal order. The play leaves the audience anticipating a conclusion where justice might finally replace vengeance.